Welcome back to Bachelor Buzz, the best place to come for recaps on your favorite show and the latest in Bachelor Nation news. We're your hosts, Arena
and Julia.
And Julia, today we also have Elizabeth Regen, who
Hello,
is
Elizabeth.
such a great
Hi.
friend of mine, and she watches The Bachelor, and I didn't really realize this, and then when I did, I felt like she has to come on our podcast. So I'm just going to go through who Elizabeth is and how we know each other, and we'll jump into the recap of hometowns this week. So Elizabeth Regen has been an actor and writer for over 30 years. Best known for her work in the feature film The Professional and television work on Sex and the City, Entourage, and Whoopi. She is a New York native and mom to 3 amazing daughters. Currently, Elizabeth runs a nonprofit animal rescue, Concerned Citizens in Los Angeles, California. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Wow, you've worked on some really cool things. Sex and the City, I mean.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sex and the City, lots of fun. Entourage, amazing.
Any
So many
tea you want to
fun-
spill for our listeners?
Oh, sure. Let's see. What can we say?
One thing for each, if you can.
Okay. Sex and the City. What can I say? The cast was very nice.
That's good.
There were some that were nicer than others.
Like?
Well,
I heard some of this, so
Marina knows it all. She knows it all. Yeah, but Kim Cattrall, amazing, sweet,
I love her.
nice.
She's my favorite.
My scenes were with her. She was amazing, and Michael Patrick King, also the creator, he was fantastic. So that's for Sex and the City.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for spilling the tea. I just had to ask.
No, it's fine. Entourage, Doug Ellen, the creator, is amazing. He's such a great New Yorker. And that was a lot of fun. We'll have to do a different podcast to spill the tea on the Professionals. The movie The Professional. But yes, thank you so much. And Arena, did you want to share how we met?
Yeah, we unfortunately, we both have lost a lot of loved ones in our lives, and about, oh my gosh, 8 years now.
Yes, Arena.
Oh my goodness. So
I know.
I had just lost my oldest brother, and I lost my mom before that, as I'd mentioned on this podcast because of, recapping the show.
Right.
And Elizabeth, you had lost your dad recently at that time, and we met in a grief support group in LA, and we connected, and from there it just became such a wonderful friendship. And also, like, you had an acting class, Street Smarts of Acting, and I loved that class. I loved the group that you created with that class too.
So great.
So
Great.
fun.
I miss them. I miss all of you. So
yes, and Arena helped me run the class.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know I'm in the bedroom with my pig. I have a pig, Arena. Did you know this? Oh, you know this, right?
Yeah, you told me.
Her name is Maggie, and right now is her Zoomy time. So if you hear some snorting,
so cute.
She's doing that right now. Oh, listen.
That is so cute. Hi, Maggie.
And Raina helped me run the class, and then we did a really amazing event for, was it 3 years, Arena?
Yeah, about 3 years in a row.
Yeah, we did 3 years. It was the 9/11 short plays and essays. Because my dad died from 9/11 related cancer. So yeah, we've done some really sad things, but I'm excited that we're doing something. Is it uplifting, The Bachelor? I don't know.
Sometimes.
Questionable.
Yeah.
Julia.
What would be the word? What can we say about The Bachelor? It is engaging. It's
engaging.
It's engaging, and it also
fun.
For me, breaks my heart. Okay.
It's fun and also hard to watch sometimes.
Yes.
Well,
But
I'm
engaging,
cynical.
I think, is a good one.
I'm cynical, so it doesn't break my heart.
Mm-hmm.
What is the bad? It's bad. It's fast food. It's chips. It's
We
right.
like
I
to
mean,
look
it's
at it, or at least I like to look at it, as examining the human condition,
It's true.
yeah.
analyzing
I do love
people
that.
when they want
It's
love.
yeah.
I watch a lot of romance and like reality TV surrounding finding love. So
Okay.
I
Are you
just
watching
love
Love Is
it.
Blind?
Yes. Oh
Oh
yeah.
God, it's a whole
And
nother
Married at
podcast.
First Sight Australia. That's my number one.
I like Married at First Sight.
But
I'm not
Australia,
into the
that's a
Australia one. I'm also not into Love on the Spectrum Australia. I'm not.
Okay.
let's start off.
Yes, let's start off. So this is Hometowns Week, which is such a big
Woo.
part of the season because this is where we really start to see Joey really connecting and we see these relationships taking off and we're kind of figuring out, well, who is he really into? And I can tell you from watching
Yes.
this, I feel like I know.
Man,
Yes.
Who's
it
into.
Yes.
almost hurt how
Yes.
obvious it was sometimes.
Oh
Mhm.
God.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about that
Yes,
at the end, maybe.
yes. So when we
Yeah.
get to that one, we
Uh-huh.
will. But first, we'll start out with Kelsey A. Or Kelsey. It's just Kelsey now
Oh,
because there's no more Kelseys.
right. I
Oh
know.
right.
Sorry,
There's just the
Kelsey
one
T.
Kelsey.
Yeah.
Well, we did see the cold open, and
Right.
once again, I think this is the fourth one in a row, centered around Miss Maria.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on, producers. We can't mix it up
Yeah.
a little. Not once has it been about Daisy, has
No.
it? Or Rachel. I
No.
think Kelsey A.
No.
Maybe had one. I
I
don't
don't
even know.
think so.
Yeah, I think it was like a group date, and then the next five are like Maria.
Mhm.
So it's her family talking about how she's never brought anyone home with like mafia music playing in the background
Yeah.
because they really are pushing this idea that her father is like
He's the Godfather.
the
Yeah.
Godfather, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was really fun. And then we had the ominous Bachelor
With the clouds.
title.
With
The title.
the
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I was watching, I was like, "Ooh, it's gonna be a tough one." I mean, I knew it would be, but you know,
Yeah.
they like to pull out that ominous title.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The cold open, was it Maria on the damn ship?
That was like the first one, I think, that had her on it. And then there was one with
Because we started with
her.
Kelsey, right? I mean,
yeah, the actual
Uh-huh.
hometowns were
Oh. Yeah, no, the cold open was like her family talking at their dinner
right.
table.
Her dad and her brothers and everything, right?
Yeah, and her
oh right,
friends.
yeah, yeah. It was brief.
Yeah. It was very brief. But then they cut to present day, and Arena, what did
And
we see?
it's all joy. It's all
I know. What a
it's in New
stark
Orleans.
contrast.
It's in New Orleans with Kelsey. Kelsey is not, she lives
Kelsey.
in New Orleans, but she's actually from another part of Louisiana that's actually about 400 miles, I think, away from New Orleans. But so she lives there, so that's where they go. They meet in City Park and they're just having a lovely time. They're riding tandem bikes, they're eating beignets, they're
Oh my
listening to
gosh.
a band. And they
Like
just look in
Spanish
love.
moss,
They
just
look,
like
yeah.
cascading everywhere, bridges and
He's
creeks,
oh, they
like
see butterflies too
the
because she says when she
butterflies.
sees
Yeah,
butterflies, it's her
right.
mom. So
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
Joey was like, "Oh, I don't see one," and then she's like, "There it is," and so she got really happy. And I think that's why I really like Kelsey. I think
Mhm.
that if she's not at the one at the end, she should be because when
Yeah.
they're together, they both are on the same page. They
They
both seem
are.
in love, even though they haven't said it to each other.
Yeah.
And he seems really happy around her. She's really giddy and excited. And when she talks about her mom, I really understand that and it resonates with
Yeah.
yeah,
me. And I just feel like it's just a lovely time. They go off after the park and they go to the bar and they're talking more and they talk about
yes,
her mom and all that stuff happens during the day. It was like a really lovely like date in hometown for
Mhm.
me
yeah,
personally, the best one I think of the whole episode. Like it was just
Yeah. I just feel like
nice.
things with Kelsey are just so easy.
Yeah.
And, you know, at some point they do address like, "Oh, have you ever had any conflicts?" And she's like, "Well, I think just the fact that there's like three other women
Yeah.
in this, like, duh." Like, but I mean, you can look at it as like, oh, they're not a real relationship. They haven't had conflict. Or it's like, maybe they're just that great together. Like maybe she's his piece.
compatible.
Like, yeah. So I don't know. I really stan them. I do.
I like Kelsey. She's so sweet and she's so pretty, and New Orleans is so pretty. Um, it's such a fragile thing because she's so sad about her mom, and I mean, obviously she should be.
Yeah.
But she gets so emotional every time she talks about her, and she's clearly still so affected about, by the loss of her mother.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's so fragile. Like, how can he turn around and send her home? Like, are you kidding me?
So true.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, she lost her mother. She thinks you're gonna be her husband, and you're not gonna give her a rose. You better give her you better propose to her. Get on your knee right now, Joey. Don't mess with us.
Right.
But then again,
you know what? That's a good point. And she has tons of brothers, doesn't she? Doesn't she have like
has 4
6 siblings?
4 siblings.
Well, we only saw one brother and a sister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She like put on her story a little profile of each of her siblings. I just didn't count, clearly.
I did.
But yeah, it was really sweet. She was like, this is, I think one of her brothers is named Pascal. And she like told a little bit about him, and it was cute. But anyways,
what can we
Joey,
say about? She's nothing bad to say about her. She's amazing. She's amazing.
she's amazing.
But
her dad, hello, we can
I
talk
love
about
her
him for a
dad.
moment.
He's even more amazing.
Yeah.
Potential golden bachelor. Hey.
I love him so much.
Everybody
I love
was
him.
Excited.
He's handsome.
He is. And he was
he's
so
sweet.
Lovely. Yes. He was just so soft spoken, but still very much like, like dad, man. And there's, like, it doesn't matter what.
Dad, man. Yes.
And he was correct. Yeah.
Did you guys die when she was like, I think I love him, and her dad, like, his eyes welled up and he was like, I love you.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I know.
Oh, my God. I love you too, Kelsey, so much.
Aww.
But I have to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't think he's that into her.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to go on. I just read a lot of body language, and I'm going to say that's just what I'm going to say. But okay, we can talk about that at another time.
I think at the end of the episode, we like to kind of dig into our theories.
Yes.
Okay. So keep it zip on that.
On each one, we'll kind of like go through how he's feeling about them. And I will say, like, definitely we're going to touch on that because we'll get to the next. Okay, so nighttime portion. There's so much to say. Like, the nighttime portion, basically, we end the night. We don't see him asking for Kelsey's dad's blessings, but we know he did it for every woman because that's what they do on this show. The lead, the male lead, always asks the dads or the parents, like, can I have your blessing to basically propose? They just didn't show it. But at the end of that nighttime portion of the date, the dad was like, I mean, it would be great if she was engaged at the end of this. So you can tell, like, he's totally fine with Joey. He likes him. And she's sitting there going, she tells her dad, like you mentioned, Elizabeth, like that she thinks she loves him. She's in love with him.
Yeah.
Although she didn't tell Joey that. No. But she was saying in her ITMs, I would fight for this man. I love it. Like, she was
like, gonna put it all out
excited.
There. But she's so like confident. I just love that about her, where she was like, it's like, if he doesn't choose me, he doesn't choose me. But I just know that I put everything into it. Yeah. And that's like a personal, like, life philosophy of mine, where it's like, I'm going to do everything and I'm going to try my best. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least I know I did everything I could. If there's something I didn't think of, oh, well. But like, I did everything I could think of, So I really like that mentality.
Everything I could think of besides kill the competition.
Everything legal that I could think of. Or at least not obvious.
Yeah.
At least not obvious.
And I like how the dads were encouraging in that way to all of the daughters. They were like, you should go for it. And if it works out for you, that's amazing. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. I liked that. That was great.
I have a little comment about all the dads as well, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay. I'm ahead of the game.
But now we're going to cut to,
real quick,
Rachel.
though.
Oh, yes.
Like, real quick. So on Kelsey's date, though, you notice at the end, he just says he feels really, really good about where he and Kelsey are right now. And I think he said at one point during the time, like, he sees a future with her, but he never says wife that I recall. He never does that with her.
He doesn't.
Not with her.
No.
No, and I'm not saying it's not her at the end, but I'm just saying, like,
I wasn't gonna say that, but I'm just sad to hear that because I really want it to be.
I really want it to be her too, but like, it doesn't mean it's not her. Maybe things change. We don't know. Fantasy suites are coming, so
maybe.
That's right. It's a whole different ballgame once we get into that bedroom.
Yeah, seriously,
okay.
like they're gonna like.
I know everything can change.
But yeah, so we end on that, and she's really happy about it, and he goes off, and next we go to Rancho Cucamonga, California, because ABC.
Thank you for saying that because I was reading it. I was like,
Rancho Cucamonga.
Yes, and it's in Southern California.
He said Ranco.
He said Ranco?
He said Ranco.
Well,
okay, that's bad. It's really a 10 points down. No,
it's totally not.
I was like,
oh my god,
Ranco.
I mean, unless I misheard it, but I'm usually good at hearing.
Because that's part of what like.
Anyways,
well, if you're
I
gonna
noticed these
mess up,
things.
if you're gonna mess up saying Rancho Cucamonga, at least mess up on the Cucamonga part.
I know.
Yeah, it's not the Rancho.
It's not the Ranco.
But you know what? This is also the same state that calls Rodeo Drive Rodeo, right? So
okay, right.
Who knows?
Or like Wilshire. It could be.
They do interesting things.
Sepulveda?
But also like Rodeo just sounds so fun.
Yeah.
Sepulveda.
Yeah, that's a road, Sepulveda. That's
I remember that road.
Because
I've been there.
So, Sepulveda. When I first came here, I called it Sepulveda.
That's what you think it would be. That's what I thought it was.
Sepulveda.
And the Angelinos were like, "What did you say?"
I
know. And I was like, Sepulveda Boulevard. It's all right. So he's okay. I'll let him go for that. So we went to Rancho Cucamonga. It looked beautiful. There was the lake. Mm-hmm. Rachel's so pretty. She's so pretty. I love her. Go ahead. Right now.
Sitting there, and so like she's from Honolulu, Hawaii, but ABC was like, we're not flying out a whole crew.
They're not doing all that after
Hawaii.
Canada and Spain and
forget this.
Oh my god!
I knew that. I was like, are they really gonna do this?
Yeah.
All the crew
to go out
Hawaii,
there for like a day? No,
that was nice of. But I mean, let's reflect on how much family of hers flew.
Well,
to
I
California.
think some of her family probably lives there. Actually,
true.
Yeah,
a lot of people do that.
Yeah, and she went to college at Cal State Fullerton, so for a part of her college career. And I think she said the house was her auntie's, so I think they do have family there, and that's why they chose Rancho Cucamonga. But like, they flew out the parents, the sister, her nephew, and probably some other family members.
Oh, so all those guys live in Hawaii?
Well, her immediate family does.
Oh, wow.
But
definitely her parents.
She lives in LA, though. She's a nurse in LA.
I know. I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And her dad is Hakeem.
Yes.
And
I just loved. Oh, sorry.
No, go, Julia, go.
I was just looking at my notes. Like, I have to say, I was so happy that she kind of like just stood there as he like walked fast towards her. She's so confident, and she did walk a little bit and hugged him. But I was just like, yes, Rachel, make him run. Like,
I think
she's so confident.
Yeah, she's super confident, but I do think she's super hurt by that broken engagement. Like, massively hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Her whole family was
hurt. Like, yeah, I mean, everybody was crying, and I want the backstory on that. Like, who walked away from her?
Right?
Who broke the engagement? Like, what?
We need to track down this mofo.
Yeah, who the hell
hurt her?
An engagement with an ICU beautiful Hawaiian nurse?
Yeah.
Only a sicko. So, a sicko, a real sicko. So, or
this needs to be part of the teaser. Let me just.
Yes.
So she's been hurt by that, and I mean, I think Joey. Am I allowed to say what I think Joey thought of her family, or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I am. Okay. Joey was so much more alive in a cultural environment.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cult, like there was so much culture there. The pig, I wasn't that much.
Loved it.
He loved it. I wasn't into eating the pig's ear, but they were into it. He was like, his eyes were open. He liked the little nephew.
I
Like they
know,
were
that was
doing that little
cute.
jump dance over the string.
He
Yeah.
was
That
so
was like
good at that.
he
Yeah.
was so his eyes were awake, like his blinking was not delayed like it is sometimes. You guys got to watch that. Sometimes it's so
I'll
damn
watch
delayed.
for
I'm
it
like,
next
Joey,
episode.
I'm like, are you falling asleep? Are you taking a nap right now, or
Yeah.
are you?
Actually, now that you say it, I kind of know what you mean.
Yes.
He's just kind of like,
I know. Yeah.
And then he's like, the girls are crying. All the girls are always crying because of something, and he's like, it's okay, it's okay. Yeah, no, it's okay. And his eyes are closing. But with Rachel at this meet and greet, he was jumping. He was eating pigs. He was
he,
like, he was
yeah.
laughing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know that much about Filipino culture, but in my eyes, I loved learning about the mano apo with
Mhm.
the little hand. Like as soon as
Monaco.
he did
Oh,
that
that was
with the
so
mom,
cute.
The
they
Monaco.
all exploded. They cheered. Like that was so clutch. You know that she knew exactly how to get it on her parents' good side with
Yeah.
that. But I also like don't know that much about the traditional Hawaiian culture. I mean, I saw her put the flower crown on and like it seemed like there was a lot of Hawaiian influence. So like maybe part of the reason he was so alive is because he
Yeah.
was like a piece of my other home, my
Yeah.
home away from home.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was
that's true.
familiar. It was
Mhm.
fun. Like I'm sure he moved to
Yeah.
Hawaii because he enjoyed their culture. So it's just once again a wonderful reason why they probably get along for all those
Yeah.
people who are so confused out there.
Yeah.
They share this amazing culture,
Yeah.
so I think it's really cool. I love to see that. And it just made me feel like, wow, Joey's definitely that kind of person that can just like hang with whoever and just
Mhm.
like take things in. And I just love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like my husband's Puerto Rican, and I guess I was born
You're
white. I'm
American.
white. I'm American, that's for sure.
American.
But I just like with my husband when we first met, we would hang out. It was just so much fun. Like his family, there were aunts and uncles and nieces and nephews and cousins and grandparents and so much food and laughing and
Mhm.
the culture. It was so it felt and they were so welcoming and like
Yeah.
come on in, eat with us, hang out, come for holidays. It really is like invigorating, and I felt like he was invigorated by her family and the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Yeah,
think so. I think so too. And she mentioned this too in her ITMs, one of them. She said he's just so open-minded and such a sweet guy that he kind of is just so comfortable with just being in that environment and embracing
yeah,
it. And her
yeah,
mom also said, we're a multicultural family,
yeah,
and he did so well with this. So I think her family really liked that about him. But that being said, because of like what you were saying, she was in such a serious relationship and her family liked that guy so much in the past, which
yeah.
we don't know anything about it until now, which we don't know if it seemed like she hadn't mentioned it to him before, but maybe she had. We wouldn't know because we've barely seen the relationship this season. They have edited it
Mhm,
out pretty much.
mhm.
Yeah.
But he was like she said, I almost got engaged and it was so close. And so her parents, her mom and her dad were very much like protect your heart and you have to
Yeah.
understand like I've told her, like her mom said, I've told her basically to, you deserve so much and I want this something so good for you. But a part of me also feels like maybe her parents, although they can see that they like each other, like I feel like parents know, especially like a mom knows.
Yeah.
And she's sitting there seeing this man who does have interest in her daughter, but maybe his heart is not with her. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
I
not
mean,
head
you
over
can
heels.
really tell when someone's like really into someone. And
Yes.
I really didn't feel that much of a vibe, especially when I saw another
Daisies.
lady.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a stark contrast,
Woof.
guys. Like I was like, great, they had a great one, and then Daisy started, and I was
It
like,
was like a Hallmark movie.
that's somebody who's in love. Like that is somebody
He
who's
is,
all about the person.
yes.
Like just constantly just glomming onto her.
Yes. And
I
just
told my
staring at
husband,
her,
I was like, this
leaning
was us when we started dating,
in.
Reminds me of us. But like,
Uh,
as much as I wanted to be like, oh my gosh, he totally likes Rachel,
He
I mean,
likes
and
her,
Kelsey, I mean,
but not like
Daisy.
infatuated in
Right.
love like he is already with Daisy. And there's
Yeah.
just something about her where he's just, yeah, he's impressed by her. He's infatuated by her. I think he's infatuated with the idea of her. And
Yeah.
it was in her hometown, not to skip ahead, but it was in her hometown where he's like, what was it? Like, he sees her as a wife already. She was the only one that he said that about. And he's like, I could
Yeah.
see that, I could see that. And we'll go to hers because I have
Yeah, we can talk
stuff
about
to say
hers.
about that. But back to Rachel.
Back
So
to Rachel.
with Rachel, her sister basically was like, yeah, I understand where our parents are coming from, protect your heart, but also just kind of do you, go all in. If you're
Yeah.
just express it. And I think that's what made her at the end of that date hometown say, I'm falling in love with you. And he was happy about it. He was like, I've
Yeah.
been waiting for weeks for her to say this.
For her to like spark the flame a
Yes,
bit,
because
blow
she
on
said
the
she's a slow
fire.
burn. And I think he's been
Yes.
waiting for her to like show more of like that she's into him. And I think maybe that's part of why their relationship isn't where like a Kelsey's is. I'm not even going to put Daisy in there because Daisy's like a whole nother thing. But like with a Kelsey,
Yeah.
like I feel like maybe that's why it's not quite at that point because she did take her time. There's nothing wrong with that. This is like in real life, totally fine. On the show, no. Like you need to move faster.
Yeah.
Well, can I just say that speaking on culture, Rachel's mother and father were like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Okay? And
Yeah.
because you know what, with culture we get cut and dry. We don't need to do this whitewash dance around Joey. They were like, no. Well, there are three other women. All the dads said that,
Yeah.
but they are seriously in their tradition,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not falling for this. This not like this is their daughter. She's already been hurt. They've already been hurt, and the mom was like, "Yeah, that all sounds really nice." I don't know if I'm gonna. I'm not gonna definitely. I'm not giving this. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not giving my okay right now. She was like straight up,
Right.
like
She did say
she
that.
she she was like, yeah, thank you. She's like, he's a nice guy.
He's
I can
genuine and
see. Yeah, he's
nice.
genuine. I'm not. I don't want to go through that shit again. Excuse my language, but I don't.
Yeah.
Like they don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
and so Joey's job is to get them all on board, and I don't feel he succeeded there with Rachel. So I'm not quite sure.
I
Like you
agree.
said,
I think he even
yeah.
said like her dad, didn't really say no, but he
Yeah.
didn't say yes. Like
Yeah.
I
No, he
think Joey
didn't.
left that hometown feeling just like, ugh, I still
Not
gotta work
really
on these people.
Yeah.
And that's not how he wanted to feel. He wanted to feel like completely accepted, a
Yes.
future.
Yes.
He wanted to feel like, wow, like I can slip right into this family and be
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
And I just don't think he felt that at the end.
No.
No, and he, he did not get 100% approval from them,
Nope.
and they didn't they didn't act like he had the it factor. They were like,
Yeah.
nice guy, yeah,
I
A
cute,
white
know.
boy over here.
yeah, sweet, chummy little guy. But
That's
I'm,
true.
we're not, yeah.
Green-eyed, curly hair.
They
I
want
mean,
a
he's
Hawaii.
so, yeah, he's like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like,
yes, he is.
does she
No,
match that energy? Not quite, really.
No.
no,
I think
no.
she matches a part of his personality because he can also be
Yeah,
more chill and
true.
more
His like
lower.
second.
Yeah, that he doesn't
Yeah.
show as much when he's like on the
Mhm.
show. He's always very charismatic, and he even
Yeah.
has said like he tries to be that for people. And I think she matches the other part of him. And also for that, I think she really kind of accepts that part of him and is like okay with it. Because there's been other times throughout the series or just in little conversations, the little that we saw, that she's like, I know you're going to be hard on yourself. Like, I know that this is what, you're feeling and things like that. So I think that definitely she's more like this. And like, just to compare, because at this point, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Kelsey is more like bubbly, giddy, and that appeals to that side of him.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel appeals to like this other, more low key side of him.
Yeah. And then looking at the other girls, I mean, Daisy just brings out a new side of him, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Maybe the
like,
side he
the side
wants.
he wants to be.
Yes.
I have so much to say about Daisy, so if we're going there,
Let's get into
Let's
it.
go. Daisy
you know,
time.
Arena.
Shoot off to
You
where,
already
Arena?
know, Arena.
Yeah.
Becker, Minnesota.
There it is. She's got the facts, and I'm like, yep, let me add to whatever. We're at the Christmas tree farm.
Yeah, Christmas
which
tree farm.
I did not realize it was straight up Christmas time.
Well, no,
all the time.
It was fall. It was October. Yeah, like October time. And
I mean, I am not the person to put up my Christmas tree until December. Or no, I would say right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
so October to me is way too early. I don't know what do you guys think?
They probably set that up, I feel like, just because they were going there. And she said it was her family's old farm, so maybe they sold it.
They owned it?
They owned it, but I think maybe they don't own it anymore, maybe?
She said our
I
Christmas
must have
farm.
missed that. I literally was like, oh my God, it's 24/7 Christmas at her farm.
She kept saying when she was little growing up, it meant so much to her and she was always there. She's like, this is my family's old Christmas tree farm. And so I don't know if like maybe someone else owns it now. I don't know. But it was, it was like fall because you saw the leaves too. And it was really pretty.
True.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, but the carriage driver had a Santa hat on.
I know. Yes.
And I was like, I'm not in Christmas right now. It was very Christmas. They were writing on the
But
the
honestly,
Christmas
I wouldn't even
balls.
blame them if it was 24/7 Christmas. Like, it's a shtick, you know? Like, Christmas tree farm.
Make money that way.
That's way too much.
But it was cool. I mean, I literally want to visit there. Like, I want to go there sometime when it's cold
outside of Minneapolis. It's not far, I think, from the city. So you could probably do it and go back to the city because, like I said before, my husband's family's from Minnesota. So
South Dakota?
No, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Oh, I didn't know that, Arena.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not going to say his name. But yeah, you know my husband. So
I know your husband. I'm just gonna. Can I say what I have to say about her?
Yeah.
I do not like her.
Hot take.
Tell us why.
Sorry.
You're probably the first person I've ever heard actually say that out loud.
Julia, I do like. I know Julia. You like her, right? I don't. The vocal fry.
I know. I understand where you're coming from. I won't say what I do as a profession, but I listen for these things. And I will say though, in her defense, the hearing loss definitely impacts her ability to hear her own vocal fry. I would bet money she has no idea. And vocal fry actually comes from not using the muscles in your voice box to their fullest extent, kind of relaxing them. So she may not hear it. So she may have gone into the pattern of doing that. So that's my one thing, just to defend her a little bit, just because I know it's a little bit more because of the hearing loss.
Okay, but she's not.
I think, but we don't know. We don't know what her voice is before. So.
Okay. I understand the hearing loss.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, but
no,
I do totally agree because it is significant.
I'd like to have the empathy that she should have the empathy that she deserves, and I don't feel authenticity from her at all. I don't. Why do we meet her? Why do we meet 30 friends at the Christmas tree farm and then go back? Like we met so many damn friends, and then we went to her house, and it was so extravagant. We like met her whole world.
It was unequal to the rest of the hometowns.
Yeah, it was so unbalanced.
Yeah, it was so significantly. It's always unbalanced with her. You have a point. Like whenever it comes to her, and this is not. I'm not going negatively against her because this is how they edited her, and this is what they did for her on the show. Yeah. On the show, they have made it seem so perfect. And so like the Hallmark movie type of like this Christmas tree farm, like that. I mean, that was just, they got lucky with that. But like for her hometown, they spent so much time during their day date, like just the two of them. So much. We didn't even see one with Rachel. We didn't see that at all.
Oh,
we saw it with Kelsey.
We just went straight we just saw her straight to her house.
To family.
They edited it out.
And then here we are with her mom and dad. I liked her mom and dad. Yeah. They seemed sweet. They were very nice.
Yeah, they were nice.
And she could hear her brother's voice. I'm over it. I'm not a Daisy fan. I'm just not. Daisy, I'm sorry. She's a very sweet girl. It's boring for me. It's making me go to sleep.
Yeah, like you're entitled to that. I think that it's like tough because I feel I'm actually not like a huge Daisy fan. I think she's sweet. I think she's cute. I see why he likes her. I think I've liked the stories of other people, or like watching the connections grow with other people. But I think that yeah, like just the producers, they just like from day one were like, is she the bachelorette or is she the winner? And like we were kind of annoyed in the beginning because we're like, we feel like we already know who's gonna win. Like
Yeah.
it's just like from the beginning, it's all they've always poured more into her, and I think it's starting to become clear why.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
don't think
maybe
she's
because
gonna be the next
you
Bachelorette.
might have a good point, Julia. Maybe it's not so much her. Maybe it's more the franchise trying to sell her to me. I
Yeah.
just
Right.
don't want to be. I
Yeah.
don't want to be saturated in
That's
Daisy. I
that's
don't.
how I felt.
That's
Exactly.
what it
Like,
is.
there was like kind of that what was it, Arena? There was something we saw where it's like, ooh, maybe like he ends up not with Daisy. And we're like, yes, some
Yeah.
drama. Like we just wanted something. Like we didn't,
Yeah,
we don't
yeah,
watch the show to know who is the
Yeah.
winner within the first
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
We want to
I
watch the
just
drama unfold and the love story unfolds.
Yeah.
she.
So
The first thing she said was, if you remember this, Arena, in the when her hometown segment started,
Yeah.
she said something like, I don't know what she said about Joey, but she was like, "Well, he's had all the fun, and now this is all in my control. This
Yes,
is
she
all in
did.
my."
oh
And
yeah.
I was like, okay. I mean, yeah, you could think, oh, it's funny. That's a funny. I think that's who she is. You guys,
Yeah.
that is who she is. Wait until they're in a marriage. If they ever were to be in a serious relationship, she's gonna be like, listen, listen, I'm in control. Okay.
Too, it's like we're saying from the very beginning, this is not against her, but it is the show. They showed her story before the show even aired. They showed her story the first episode the show aired. They never
Yep.
showed Rachel, by the way. They showed Kelsey, Maria, and Daisy and two other people. Why didn't they show Rachel? She was in the top four. They knew that. She's
Yep.
in the top
Yep.
three. They knew that. Why didn't they show her? This is one of the reasons we don't know who she is. And there's so many people that are saying
Yes.
they don't have a connection. I don't know what, there's no spark because we haven't seen it. They have
Yeah.
edited everything out pretty much on her. Anyways, so back to Daisy. He's in love with her. Her mom even said it. I can tell Joey's in
Yes.
love with her.
Oh,
But
jeez.
she and he is. It's like he's like, oh my gosh, he leans into her all the time. And I
Yeah.
think she's trying, and I think she understands why he would be a great guy to be in love with, but she's not feeling it, and that's
No,
okay.
she's not.
And,
I don't
and
think
she,
she is. I really don't. And I think
yeah,
it's because she maybe senses she might not have all the control. She doesn't. He's got to propose to her. He's got to pick her. She doesn't have all the control. So I don't know how much of a turn on that is for her. I think he likes him. I think she likes to kiss him. But I don't think she, like, in the long run, really feels like he's my husband. I don't feel depth there at all.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, another aspect that we have to consider when like kind of dissecting whether or not we think she's into him is also like she hasn't dated anybody who
yeah,
accepts her with her
yeah,
deafness and her cochlear implant and just like post all this medical trauma she's been to. Like, I mean, we have to all be, admit she's been through a lot medically. Like, I cannot
yeah,
imagine what
yeah,
she's been through. And, personality aside, she hasn't been with someone who knows all of that and been like, I accept you. I will be there if something else happens. Cause I think that the nature of Lyme's disease is that it can kind of present itself in different ways.
yeah. It can.
Randomly, like it can be dormant, it can come up, it can cause like cognitive
It can
confusion.
bring up
Don't quote me,
other
but
things
yeah,
too. Like if you already have
yeah.
conditions, it can exacerbate.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I think that in her mind and her family's mind, it's like this may not be the end of the road for her health journey. And like if she's going to marry someone, they need to be on board. And he has just like, hopefully genuinely and hopefully realistically, but he has absolutely done it for the camera and to her and to her family, like kind of demonstrated that, oh, I'm down for whatever. I will help her. I will be there for her. And like, if I were her mom, I would definitely still be skeptical. I would be like, oh, like we just need to see it like play out over time. Like I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if this is like the show for her to find someone like really. I don't know if this is the right show for her, But I'm saying all this because, like, she may just be excited somebody's accepting of her.
Yes. I
That's
think
really,
she says that
Is he
too.
really though? Is he really? This is a show. I mean, this is not like reality. This is not real life. I don't know if he's. I don't know.
really
I don't know if he's
accepting.
really accepting what you just said. I mean, all of
Yeah,
her
we
health
don't.
struggles.
Well,
I
that's the
don't know
thing.
if
I
he.
don't know either. I don't think
I
he
don't know.
even maybe understands
Yeah,
to
I
what
don't think
extent this
he's
could
No, I
fully.
don't think so
become.
either. And I don't think he really can. I mean, when you're in a position to have to pick
No.
from so many women and you're gonna, you're hurting, you're gonna definitely hurt some of them. All of them except for
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I don't think he, I don't know if he can really, I don't know how he really understands that Kelsey's mother is gone and she lost her and the effects that that has on a woman and
Yes.
the effects that would have on their children. I
Yeah.
mean, right? Like
Yeah.
he won't have a grandmother on that side. Like there's so much. And then I don't know if he really understands what it feels like. I mean, I don't know we don't know Rachel's circumstance and her broken engagement, but that obviously hurt her whole entire family. And so expectations and fear can get in the way there. And I don't know if he can fully, delve into that either. And then with Daisy, I don't know. That's really intense, that kind of health issue. It's really again, children, they could have hearing issues.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's just there's so much to think about and I don't think he can put all of those heavy things on his plate and really really consider them. I think he has to move on with the show. So,
Yeah.
um I I I want to just clarify that
Yeah.
it may not be Daisy. It might just be the franchise and the show shoving her down our
Yeah.
throats. I
Like
just don't want to see it.
yeah, like I think
Yeah.
Arena and I talked about this before, maybe privately, but it's like
Yeah.
I almost would like her more maybe as the Bachelorette. I just yeah, it's definitely one of those things where like I just feel like I don't really know her. Like I
Yeah,
know
I
her
don't
on
know her. There's
paper.
no depth there. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I don't see her as the Bachelorette because
We
I
don't
just don't
know.
have it. There's no depth. I get she has a disability. I get that.
Mhm.
But
And
that's it.
that's
By the way, I did
but
look
I
it up.
don't
It
know.
is on both ears. I don't know why the left ear was the cochlear implant
Is it more
only.
hearing loss in
Maybe,
that
yeah,
ear?
it might be just more intense on the left
They
ear.
said she has a disability. She said she has a disability. I'm not doubting whether or not she does, but there's no, maybe this is them promoting her. There's no
Yeah.
showing what that struggle really is besides saying I've been rejected, nobody's accepted me for who I am. I don't really see, I don't see where she's struggling. She seems
Mm.
so for me, I don't know if they could possibly have told her, don't play it up or
Yeah.
given
They could just
her,
be editing out
it could be
because,
editing. Yeah, and
yeah.
I would really like to see
Yeah, I
what
would
she's
like,
like. What is it like for her?
Like
What is it like?
real.
She's
right.
not like everybody else.
Yeah.
If that is, yeah, and I probably would have more of an interest in her, but I really don't. At this point, I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
valid.
Yeah.
You know, she gave him the least last week.
Yes.
Yeah,
And yet he was still like,
Why is
oh
he
my
so
God.
confident?
that was the first rose, right?
Yes. Yes. She was the first rose, and you're right. She gave him the lease. She was basically like, I'm not going to tell you that I'm in love with you, which I respect
No.
too, because why should she?
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
Kelsey has always been on board. She's always been right there with them. And
Yeah.
yet
Yeah.
he still sees Daisy. It is obvious. He still sees Daisy as number one. Kelsey's right under.
wait, are we talking about giving the rose this
Well,
episode?
not necessarily giving the rose in this episode, but just in
Okay,
general of how he's
because I
feeling.
want to say something about that.
Oh, okay. And we didn't talk about
Okay,
Maria. We need
We
to talk
have
about
to talk about
Maria,
Maria.
let's
How much
just
time do
talk
we have?
Let's go back to Maria, talk about her real quick, and then we'll go to the
Maria.
final.
All right, so Maria,
What do you think about Maria?
you know,
Maria
we
was
already
my
saw it
favorite. She
all. We
was
already
my
know
favorite.
she was. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she
All
was,
right. Do
but
you want to
she
talk about
started.
it then? Do you want to lead this one?
No, go ahead, go girl. I'll be right behind you. I have a lot to say on Maria
Um,
too.
well, okay, so Maria, they're on the Maid of the Mist, the ship that goes under Niagara Falls, which I've been on. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
I don't think I had the same experience. I was like 8 with my parents, but
I
it
was a
looked
baby
cute.
when I went. I don't
Oh
even know.
yeah.
Who knows?
Oh really? A baby? That's cute.
Yeah, I was a baby.
I've never
Um,
been.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's definitely fun. They give you these like ponchos and it's misty and it's cool. But I mean there was a rainbow and it was just cute. They get
Did they give you
on.
candy whiskey?
Oh my God, right?
Oh
Maple
wow,
whiskey. I was seriously
wow,
like, damn, this
whoa.
girl is definitely the opposite of like
She was
Kelsey
like,
slash
here,
Daisy and
okay.
Rachel. It's like I don't think any of them like really showcase the drinking that much, but she's like, we need a shot. Because
She's like,
she knew
chug,
that
chug, chug, chug.
she needs to play her fun card as
Yeah.
much as she can to
Mhm.
reel him back in, be
Yeah, she
sexy,
lost
be
him.
fun. He did a cartwheel. Like this
I
man lights
know.
up
What
when
the
he's
hell?
drinking with Maria. It was so funny. I just died on that. Like who the hell thinks to do a cartwheel in the watery, misty surface of a ship? Swishing around in the ocean, like it was just like so funny.
It could be
Anyways,
romantic, but she brought out the candy whiskey and she was like, "Let's do
right.
this." And she's
Yep.
devious.
Yeah, and actually, I feel like they didn't really show a lot of the actual shipwright
Yeah.
No,
or
they
whatever.
didn't.
They didn't, which I was a little sad about because all of a sudden they're like, "Let's talk,"
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
they're on a
exactly.
bench with a bottle
With
of
a
wine or champagne,
Yes.
right?
basket and a throw
I was
blanket.
like,
What?
more
Wait,
drinks,
what?
and basically he just tells her like, I want to feel confident, but she wanted to quit. She says, I want to quit while I was ahead. I took the easy way out, and I'm sorry, but like nobody wants that in a life partner. Nobody's gonna want
No,
someone who quits
no,
when they're ahead, when
no,
things get tough. No, that's not wifey
no,
shit. Sorry, Maria, you really
no.
messed up saying that. And I think that he just, at that point, I could just read it on his face. He was skeptical.
Yeah, yeah.
Trust pretty much out the window.
And
And it's just,
also, when he asks her, when's the last time you brought someone home to meet your family? And
Oh
she goes,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I've
I've never.
I've never brought someone home. And his face was like, and then his
I know,
ITM
because
was
she's
like,
like,
how could you
how
never
old is
do that
she?
by this point in your life?
I know.
I mean, how old is she? She's never
She's
ever brought
29.
29.
anyone. 29 and nobody's ever come home?
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
see,
she had one very serious relationship, but he basically let her on. So I guess it was good that she never brought him home. But like, the things people do on TV, it's
well, I
like
think,
you would never bring a guy who's dating three other girls that you've known for what, a month, to your father, who's literally your best friend, who
yeah,
is your caretaker and like pretty much her favorite person.
Yeah.
And like, no, this is just so backwards as to what humans really would do. But it's just
exactly.
like Bachelor Nation, just this is what they do. It's polyamory and it's jumping the gun and
Oh my
it's
God.
like, and it's just like, sometimes you just got to take a moment and think, is this really how my life partner relationship is going to start? It just didn't make any sense that she's
Well,
never brought someone home and this is who she brings home. Like if I were her dad, I totally would have been like, nah, we're not meeting this guy.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's TV. So
I
we
think
do
she
it.
definitely lost him in the previous episode where she
Yeah.
said she was going to leave. I mean, I think it was a stunt that
Yeah.
maybe she's pulled in other relationships, or a stunt she pulls in life. Like,
Mhm. Yeah.
Totally.
you're going to lose me. That is not going to
Mhm.
work on The Bachelor. That is not going to work. He has
Nope.
other women to
Just an
pick
easier
from.
roast to not
Yeah,
have to
that did
give.
not that stunt didn't work at all, and she knew immediately it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was skeptical ever since then. He really liked Maria. I think he had a lot of fun with her.
Yeah.
I think I think she brought just he seemed to, he again he like with Rachel, he seemed alive. He seemed like he
Yeah.
wanted to have fun, and he was really, I think he really liked her. Really, he liked her from the
Yeah.
beginning. He said he had something like he was really attracted to her from the
He
beginning.
wanted to
Yeah.
He
really like
was,
her.
but she screwed it
Yeah.
up. She really screwed it
She
up.
did.
And um I mean, I think that like you said, I don't think the franchise promoted her family as something to want to be a part
Pardon
of.
me.
Bless
Yeah.
you.
It was.
I think like her godfather, father,
Yeah.
and her brothers, and the brothers who were like, she's the heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Okay. and the mom, I don't even think, did the mom say one word?
No.
She didn't speak one word. And I didn't think that, I don't think they were, I don't think they were shown in a positive light. Not really. I mean, they definitely weren't. But her dad, I mean, they might as well have played the Godfather music behind her father speaking. I mean, I just thought the next scene was going to be a dead horse head in the bed.
I know.
Like, I did. Like, I was just like, they are recreating
that would be, wait, Jesse should have really done a funny ending. I actually didn't watch the last, did he do anything funny at the
he
end?
popped out of nowhere at the very end and said two things, and that was
because I've been liking how he's doing a funny skit at the end, but that would have been so funny if it was Joey waking up to a toy horse head, and it was how could you leave Maria?
That would have been so funny. Why didn't they do
Joey,
that?
there's still time.
They should do
that. But wait, was the rose, was it given on a dock? That was a dock, right? Was it?
It was
the airplane hangar.
Yeah, the hangar. They do that so
that's
often.
That's out of Carlito's way. Like that's a.
you know it?
It's a mafia movie setting. Like that's the end, man. You're getting thrown off the ship. It's over. Cement shoes on, and we're dropping you. Like it just was. It was really. It was. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. This is an airplane hangar or a dock or something. This is the end. So I already knew. I did. You guys already know that she wasn't making it through. I felt very, very positive it was going to be her.
I was fairly sure it wasn't her because his reaction last week when she did pull that stunt, and even though, like I said, I don't think she intentionally did it, that's just who she is, that he was just bothered by it, and he didn't bother to go chase after her. He just sat there.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with that.
Thought about it. So I think that was the beginning of the end for them. And even though I don't think it was just her not saying she was falling in love with him right away at the end of her hometown, I think he already kind of knew, it's not you. And he said he was sure when he went into it. And when she left, didn't give her the rose. I mean, I know we're going to get the rose ceremony. He didn't seem broken up about it. He was just...
No, he didn't.
I think it was exactly what he needed for her to not say, I'm falling in love with you.
Yeah.
I think he was honestly, he was probably relieved. He's great. Now I don't have to feel bad. Definitely not bringing her through. I don't trust her. She's not even falling in love with me.
So easier. Yeah.
Even though I feel you could tell she was all about him. But in the end, she needs to grow up a little and I think say what she's feeling.
I think if he was the right man, she would have. Yeah. I think then she would have felt compelled to say it, but he's just not for her. And when she did tell him, it almost felt like a last-ditch effort, even though I know she said
it totally was.
She didn't have regrets.
No. It was her Hail Mary pass.
You can understand this. She's a girl in a house with two brothers.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, she's a princess. And I'm a girl in a house with two brothers. I know this. And I love my father more than anything, and he loved me more than anything.
Yeah.
I think she's played this game her whole life. I'm leaving, come chase me. And Joey's tired, man. He was just on The Bachelorette. Now he's on The Bachelor. I'm not chasing you. What are you doing in the bathroom? Come out here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I tried that with my husband in the beginning. I'm leaving. And he was like, here's your hat. What's your hurry? Bye. And I was like,
when will you be back?
He's like, you leave. If you want to leave, leave. I was like, oh God, you're supposed to chase me.
Just kidding.
I'm just not.
Yeah.
And so, you kind of have to learn that. And I think she should definitely have learned that when she tried to leave, and he was not having it. He was just like, okay, I'm not into this game. I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play this game. And she was like, okay, yeah, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. And she humbled herself. And then, and then she pulled out the candy whiskey, and she tried to kind of get away with it again. She kind of tried to not. She knew she needed to say something that was really grounded and humble. Mm-hmm. Maybe she didn't have to say "I love you," but she could have just been really authentic and been like, "I know I've been, I know I've been." Hard to deal with, and I know that I'm not always really upfront with my feelings.
Sowing doubt with you,
and I'm not used to this kind of having these kind of feelings, and because I feel like she was like that with him throughout. I felt like their conversations were really authentic, and she was able to communicate effectively. And I just think when she just didn't do it on that last night, he's tired, and he just want to set himself up again for a heartbreak.
I kind of agree with what you said about how like she was able to communicate well in the past. Like she'd always been so confident with him.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge change from last week to this week. Like from the beginning, I mean, that's why she needed a shot of whiskey and all that. I think she just was completely less confident.
Her insecurities were.
Yes, I think she just really, and then that's why she couldn't say it, because she was just so like scared to put herself out there, because she already knew she probably isn't getting that rose.
And I'll tell
she
you
was
what
not happy
sealed
to hear
the
what she had to
deal.
say.
I'll tell you what sealed the deal. The video of her as a child throwing the carrot and screaming, "Go eat it," or something to her dad. Something.
She's like, why would you put these on this?
Why? And she was like, stop. She's
they were all like,
why are they
watching.
doing this?
They're all watching through the window.
Oh my, they're all watching through the window, and she's like, no, no, no. And she's the evilest child ever to walk the face of the earth. My daughter's watching it with me. She's 7. And she's like, wait, she's 8. Oh my God, she just turned 8. She's like, what the heck? She's like, what is that girl doing? Throwing her food? And I was like, oh, that's Maria. And she was like, oh no, honey. She was like, no. She's like, she can't move forward after this. She was like, that's bad behavior. That is bad behavior. Yep, my daughter said that. And I was like, you know what?
Spot it, then hopefully Joey could.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He didn't, when she took him out there to say, I wanted to tell you that I do have feelings. Honey, you are wasting our time and his. He's done. He was done. He was like, thank you. He was blank.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, thanks for that. Yeah,
but he didn't smile.
He didn't even want to keep talking to draw it out of her.
Oh my God, he literally slammed the door when she got in the vehicle to leave. He gave it a little he slammed it, and he like let his hand go up into the air like, bye.
Yeah.
Like, don't let it hit you in the ass. Bye.
Yeah, he was ready to be done.
How the mighty have fallen. That's what we should say. That's what we should call this episode.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be contender.
But
it is kind of like she was quite mighty in this race. I think that I mean, there was a moment where I thought it was her Daisy,
that was going to go home?
No.
Oh, no, it was going to win.
To the end.
Yeah, I thought she might win.
Yeah, I was really like, wow, he's really connected to her last week. But then all that wishy-washiness and now this, and I know it's over.
The I'm gonna leave was the down.
Yeah.
Down. That was the end. And because you can't say I'm gonna leave on The Bachelor. Go.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Stay.
So then leave.
Oh my God.
The whole point of it is
just
to
left.
stay. What didn't you know from the beginning that you would be competing with all of these women? That's the premise of the show. What are you talking about? I don't want him to be with any other women. What are you talking about? That's crazy land. You got to go home now.
Yeah. And even if you feel that way, don't voice it.
Yeah, like this is the game.
Never say it.
What are you thinking? He's going to be like, you know what, Maria? I can't even bear to think of you leaving. Send everyone home.
Yeah.
Get me the ring. Yeah. It's never going to happen.
No.
But I will say that Rachel looked petrified.
Yes.
She looked like she was going to get thrown off the airplane hangar. Her eyes were wide. She was scared.
Yes. She knows. I think she feels that her relationship is not where the others are. And I listened to another podcast, and they were saying, like, one of the people on there has been on the show and was like, you kind of get a judge of where the other relationships are, even if you don't 100% talk about it with the others. You kind of have an idea. And I think she definitely, that's one of the reasons she got a little, like, I'll say miffed when Maria pulled that and went over and made that comment when she got back. I'll also say, though, let's not forget, Kelsey did say something in her ITMs about Maria pulling Joey, and she was like, what does she possibly have to say right now? Just hoping and praying I get a rose tonight. So she said something too, but it was in the ITMs. There was 9 times, but she said something too.
If I were on the show and someone did that, I would not be able to control my facial expressions. I would be like so salty looking. You know what I mean?
Well, I was like, Rachel,
it's amazing that
I
these
would have
people
come out of my
aren't
face.
more
I would have been
annoyed.
like, you know what?
it was normal.
You need to
I'd be like,
not. What's
Joey,
her
no,
name?
you don't need to talk to her. Like,
It was totally
what are you
Yeah, I
gonna
would have been like,
say?
we need to move on here. You need to stop taking so much time.
I'd be like, again.
Maria, I'd be like, no, you cannot talk to him. Let's move on, Joey. Give the roses out. I would have said that. And let me
Yeah.
say one thing, Arena. You said, I think Rachel knows her relationship is not where the others are. I think Rachel knows she's the woman of color amongst these white girls. And that is what the fear in her face is. That is what I feel. You've got these 3 white girls. That is
Yeah.
just what it is. And America watching, who did they think was going to get voted off, even though Maria was, kind of a dark horse?
Yeah, Rachel.
I think everyone was thinking Rachel. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Everyone
because I was kind of thinking Maria's a pain in the ass and Joey's over it. And when she didn't say how she felt, I was like, yeah, I think it's going to. And when he came in so confident, when he was like, hi, hello, ladies, smiled and was like, I feel good with what I'm doing tonight. I knew it was Maria because he wouldn't feel good sending Rachel home. He wouldn't feel good sending Kelsey home.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't feel good sending Daisy home. So when I saw him come in with that confidence, I was like, oh, it's over. It is over for Maria.
Yeah.
But I think Rachel, she knows what she's up against. And whether he really likes her or not, like you said, the American audience is watching, and they've got their pick, which is Daisy.
Yeah.
And Rachel knows that.
They're rooting against her. And
they're rooting against her for no reason.
For no reason. And unfortunately, like we've said before, the show doesn't help by giving her so little screen time.
Right.
We don't
if they want to be more accepting and diverse, they need to literally reflect that in the content that they make, not just how many people of color are on the docket.
Yes.
No, they need equal, screen time, similar edits. It just needs to be more of an accepting show.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not.
Fair.
It is not.
And this season, I feel like has been so starkly obvious which ones the producers wanted to win. More than other seasons. I feel like other seasons, I mean, again, this is the season I've cared most about in my life. For obvious reasons.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Why is the obvious reason? I'm missing it.
Because I'm on a podcast about it. I did not care that much before. I mean, I liked this show, but I didn't analyze it much with people. My mom here and there, sprinkles, and my husband sometimes would watch with me. Anyways,
my mom won't watch.
Yeah,
no, my mom she won't watch.
Oh, she won't watch. My mom.
No, I was just there.
Sometimes. She just started watching. Actually, she's like, I don't like to watch the beginning. I like to watch it when it's actual relationships, top 5 or 6. I'm like,
no,
valid.
She's never watched it. I went to visit her last week. Arena knows my mom, and she's 80 now. She's gonna be 80 next week. Arena. Oh. And I was like, I gotta go, Mom. I gotta get home. I gotta watch The Bachelor. And she was like, oh, what? You're not watching that now, are you? Oh no, there's got to be something else on. Let me check the channels. I was like, no, I'm gonna go, Mom. I was like, do you want me to tell you about it? She was like, no, that is trash. She was so unhappy. But I watch. I have to be honest. And yeah.
No, I've watched many seasons, but it's just I never was invested before. It's just fun to watch. But yeah, what I was saying is that I've never, and again, I wasn't analyzing it back then, but I've never gotten the vibe where I knew who would win from the first episode because of the editing and the media and advertising.
Yeah.
Where this season it's just so starkly clear who the top 2 one of 2 would be from the beginning. So
wow.
I do think that's a little bit of a failure on the Bachelor franchise this season. It just wasn't as surprising.
Yeah.
So
yeah, if it's getting predictable, then that's not a good sign.
So predictable, exactly. It's just not as engaging as I hoped it would be.
No.
I think that they really have gotten a lot
an
of
example.
I think they've gotten a lot of sort of praise this season for the ethnic diversity, because we had Asian women.
Yeah.
They're like
They
there
got
were like maybe like I don't know, a handful of women of color. And I don't think that's enough. And I don't want to see it purposefully done just to say we have 5 women of color. Aren't we doing great? No, I don't. I want to see the contestants because they're great contestants no matter what. I don't want to be in a snowstorm. I don't want to have everybody being white. I don't.
Looking the same.
But I also
everybody's dressing the same already.
and I just don't want exactly. And I just and I just don't want. I don't feel the praises. I don't think they deserve it. I don't because we've already we've discussed for an hour where we can see the glaring prejudice. And if it's getting so obvious in the editing and everyone can see it, it's going to lose.
Yeah.
It's going to lose. It's going to lose credibility nonetheless. I mean,
yeah, it's just
do we want to see women like that? Do we want to see women? Do we still want in 2000 and almost 25? Do we want to see women competing against each other and hating each other for one man? Do we? I mean, you gotta. What are we in season 25 of American Idol? Like they're doing some different stuff this year. Like people meeting their biological parents right there while they're singing, and they're doing.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought to myself, okay, you know what? What does it have to do? What is this? What is this? But they know they have to change it up a little bit after all. I mean, after 50 years of American Idol, there's got to be something different. They've got to change it on The Bachelor. They have to, and The Bachelorette. There has to be some real serious changes made in order for it to stay relevant.
Yeah, and I think that we saw some promise of the Golden Bachelor. The authenticity from the lead.
I love it.
And then also like the backstories from the lead and like just seeing the purpose.
Yep.
And then the production value went up for him too. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. Another thing that I just wanted to mention that I saw about from another like podcast, I want to say, or at least an Instagram post. Shoot, I need to write down who says these things because I feel like I'm plagiarizing or something. I'm not like citing. But they pointed out, oh, you know what? Who was it? I'll find it later. They pointed out that actually, so once again, we see Daisy gets the first rose, then it's Kelsey A, and then it's surprise Rachel. But the actual order was Kelsey A was first. How do we know? But why is Daisy shown first? Once again, another push for Daisy. Clear, she's the number one. He loves her the most. She was second. Kelsey A got the rose because they cut to after Kelsey A gets her rose, they cut and you could see Daisy and her hands were empty. So once again, and you guys keep talking. I'm gonna find out who it was who found that because I feel bad that I didn't have that. So
wow, that is sloppy editing.
Interesting, right? Yep, it's another editing fail. And it's just another example of why they are pushing, like, why do we all like Daisy? It's almost like a perfect metaphor of like media. Why do we like these things? Well, because the media designs it, and like the big media wants us to look at this.
Are you gonna make your prediction?
Yes. So let's do our predictions of so now we know the top 3. We know that it's Kelsey, Daisy, and Rachel. Who do we see top 2 and who do we see final 1? Elizabeth, would you like to go first?
Sure. I'm gonna knock your socks off with this.
Ooh, let's hear it.
My daughter, who's 8, said the girl in the red dress is gonna win.
That tracks.
I have to tell you.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Rachel.
Really?
I think Rachel is going to win. Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, okay. Why?
Okay.
He only at the end when he finished his hometowns with each girl, the only 2 that he touched their face was Daisy and Rachel. He did not touch Kelsey's face. his hands remained not on her body.
Oh.
Body language.
Just a kiss.
Oh.
And he wasn't touching Kelsey's face. His thumb was on Rachel's face. Watch it back. And he was like caressing her. And I truly think, I know you think it's going to be Daisy. The coming attractions make it seem like Daisy's going to reject him.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't believe the coming attractions.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I don't think she's going to reject him. But I do think that he is going to think of what it means to propose to or marry a disabled person. I don't think he's ready for that. I don't think he can handle it. And I don't think ultimately he's going to choose her. I think that it's going to be Kelsey and as the runner-up and Rachel as the winner.
Wow. Well, that's definitely not one that I've heard. So if you're right, then actually, I mean, at what point are we going to do our little bet arena? We were thinking we would do like a little bet. Although I feel like we're just so on the same page that it's kind of obsolete. But I don't know. Maybe we should make a little bet with Elizabeth here.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if it will work out. I don't know if it will work out after the engagement.
Well, that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I don't think that matters. But I think it's going to be Rachel. I think the franchise understands that they cannot be as predictable as they're being. And people are going to stop watching once it catches on that they're this predictable. So I think we're being led down the Daisy path. I don't think that's who's going to win.
Well, I think that you're right. I mean, they definitely do need to make it less predictable because I mean, like, if it really is this predictable, like they are going to lose us because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, how boring. Like,
we don't want to see
it's like the boy who cried most dramatic season ever. Like, stop. It's not dramatic anymore. I mean.
Yeah, and ultimately they don't care if Daisy wins. They want themselves to win. They want the Bachelor to be, anticipated for the next season.
Yeah.
And so they'll sell her out. They'll sell her out just as quickly as they try to sell her to us. I mean, they will sell her out to keep the Bachelor name franchise going. And the only way to turn this ship around at this point is what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm being hopeful, but I'm putting it into the universe, and I'm going to celebrate that idea until it doesn't happen that way, and then I say I'm never watching the show again. I hate this show, and then I watch next season.
Okay, every season. Yeah.
Who is your predictions?
Okay, Julia, here we go.
Okay. So I think it's going to be Kelsey A and Daisy as the final two, and I think that Kelsey A is going to write the note that she has to leave. And the reason, I think I've switched it up a bit because I think that in the teaser for next week, Susan talks to her and she's like, I know what it's been like to be in your shoes.
Oh no, Leslie talks to Kelsey.
I love the Golden Bachelorettes. They're so.
Oh, it was Leslie talking to Kelsey though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, I think it just gets in her head. And I think that, maybe it's just too much for her. And I think she leaves. And I think he's kind of like left with Daisy, which I don't know if that's like as devastating to him because I do still think he like wanted Daisy, but I think maybe the shock of it may get to him and like the rejection of it gets to him. So that's my
who do you think the winner's going to be?
I think Daisy, but I don't even know if she'll like that. What if she's just like, well, I'm just like the last one. You can see that, right? What if she gets mad? What if she leaves? Anyways, so whatever. That's my hot take right now. It's my prediction because I want to be risky.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be crazy.
Yeah.
Well, they looked hot and steamy with Kelsey. They were in in the silhouette darkness of the shower, and it looks steamy with Daisy.
It really did.
God,
I was like, okay,
in the red
Daisy.
bikini.
Yeah.
Taking it
I
up
was
a notch.
little, actually, she kind of gained a little cred to me. I was like, yeah, girl, get it.
I know. I was
Yeah,
like,
girl.
oh, wow. Okay, so this is where she exceeds. This is where the
this is what we haven't been seeing.
This is what he's sensing. This is what okay, got it. That could definitely be a deal breaker.
Could be it.
But I don't know. Did I see him being sexy with Rachel? No, I probably didn't see that, did I?
No.
We didn't see it.
We didn't see it.
We probably won't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm
sure
still
it's there. I
predicting
mean, their chemistry,
Rachel.
We can't forget the chemistry is there with them,
It
you know,
is.
and that chemistry is chemistry. It's not just
they just don't show it.
Yeah, like anyways, what's your prediction?
There was a guy that I liked in college, and he told me he didn't like me back because there was no chemistry. What?
Oh,
that's harsh. I thought there was. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't like that word chemistry, but whatever.
Okay, well, maybe he was just caught up on someone else.
I think he was caught up.
Where are you now?
He's like, there just has to be chemistry. There's no chemistry.
An update.
Yeah, I hope he's listening. Anyway, I really do. That's why I said that out loud. I hope he really hears this and is like, oh my God.
Funny.
I remember when I said that in Dojo's on 8th Street, a vegan restaurant in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead, Arena. What's your prediction?
So, as you can see, Elizabeth makes me laugh so much.
Drink your sparkly water.
You think Arena's soft-spoken, right? You think she's so soft-spoken? Oh my God, don't get her started.
So my final... Okay, well, I love Rachel, but because of how they've edited her, and I don't know, I just don't... In the way he's so infatuated with Daisy, and he does really like Kelsey, I feel like the top two are going to be Kelsey and Daisy. And originally I thought with Daisy, because of some of the teasers that we saw earlier in the season, not recently, but earlier in the season, they showed Daisy kind of going like this, and it looked like they were in a tropical place, and she was just like, I don't know, and it could have been something else. It could have been whatever their activity was, or whatever.
What do you want to eat?
And then
I don't know. You pick. No.
So she's getting really worked up. And I thought for the longest that it would be her causing him all that stress, and then he ends up with Kelsey. But then I'm thinking now, who would want to be second? Like if he did,
Kelsey.
Nobody.
Yeah, so I just think it's one of them, and they're definitely in the top two. I'm so confused. And I think next week will give me more insight into that, the fantasy suites. I think I'll have a better idea.
Are they having the fantasy suite next week, all three of them?
Yeah, all three will be next week. And then I'm thinking the week after that is Women Tell All. And then the week after that will be the final rose. Mm-hmm. But I think they'll leave us hanging. They won't show us the rose ceremony for the fantasy suites. I think they'll wait until the final rose.
Yeah.
Which is like 2 weeks from that point. But
well,
I don't know.
Next week, on Tuesday, you should definitely celebrate my birthday because it's my birthday, and I think you should just talk a lot on your podcast about me being on the podcast and all of my brilliant.
Everyone say happy birthday
ideas
to her.
Happy birthday to me. Yeah, and then I think you girls are so amazing, and I love your podcast, and I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
And I think that you should continue to do it. Only if Rachel wins. If not, call it quits. And
we say that every time, right?
Know,
but
yeah, I'll be saying it. I'll be saying I'm not watching that stuff. I tell my boy, just watch the show. It's not good for you. And then I watch it. So I appreciate you having me on. It's just kind of therapeutic and kind of helps with my my survival, that I'm able to just kind of talk to other informed women about the show.
It's fun.
Thank you.
It's definitely like
Thank you so much.
just like a fun escape from the daily pressures of life, you know?
Yeah.
Like
It's
I've really
Yes, and as
enjoyed making this podcast.
when we started the conversation, you said it, it's a look at kind of like,
The human condition.
the human condition. Yeah, and it's people watching, we get to like
Yeah.
up close and personal people watch them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's why people love celebrities, because they're people you can just look at.
Yeah.
totally you can watch.
Look at everybody, but you
Yeah.
can't because there's social things. But celebrities, you're allowed to look at. You're allowed to look at every little piece of them, and people love that, and they're beautiful to look at. So,
Yeah, if you
yeah.
want, you could go ride the subway in New York and also people watch.
Also do
That's
that.
also
No one will
very
care.
interesting. It's very
true.
interesting. But yeah, I think we like to watch this because we like to see the up close and personal, intimate connections with people. This is why it's very important for the franchise, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, to stay honest with that narrative, because if it gets too plastic, if it gets too predictable and too manufactured, we're not going to be interested anymore.
Yeah.
So it would be to their benefit to keep it authentic.
Yeah. I agree, because they're shaping it. If they just allowed
They
it
need
to
to
be
make it
what
for
it is.
the future. You know, they want to be
They want to be
like
around.
like it's a good thing Chris Harrison's not here anymore. Jesse's so much better. You know, like they
Oh,
are
Chris
evolving
Harris.
slowly.
I love Jesse.
Some things they're doing better, but there's just a lot of work left to be
There
done.
still
A
is.
lot of work. I mean, I have a daughter who's 22. Arena knows her. That next generation is really smart, man. They're sharp. They are sharp, and they are not buying it. They aren't. Like, they don't have time, and they're not even spending a little bit of time wasting it on something that doesn't speak truthfully.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit of time. So if they want to catch up with like the new generation or the newest generation, they've got to up their game and modernize, or else it will fade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's true.
It's exciting to see or imagine like what that could look like, you know?
Yeah.
My daughter watches Paradise. She doesn't watch Bachelor or Bachelorette. She won't.
Well, that's because Paradise is more honest, you know? You'll like
Paradise
them
is
or you
off the
don't.
chart.
Find someone else if you don't like them, you know?
And
Now,
Yeah.
Paradise again. Oh, we got to do a deep dive on just the idea of Paradise after this season is over as our like in between season content. I definitely would love to talk about Paradise.
Yeah, because
and our other shows.
it might not be here this summer,
No.
which is really bad, because
Oh,
it's
I don't even want to
also,
say it.
I know, and it's like I've said before, if they don't have Paradise, that's the only place that you see a lot of people of color find relationships and
Yeah.
be
And
showcased.
Yeah.
also the highest like success rate of their relationships in the Bachelor
Come
franchise.
from
So,
Paradise. Yeah.
you know, like if they want to be honest and show real love stories, that's where they need to keep it going, you know?
Yeah.
I have two questions, and then I have to go because I have children who are unattended to in the living room. And I think actually she's sticking her fingers under the door. Two questions. The first question is, when do you think The Bachelor and The Bachelorette will be brave enough to incorporate trans I think we've had one or two bi contestants in the past, but nothing that really got focused on. I know it's such a traditional show, so traditional in
It's
the
on
dresses, and
ABC.
you need to take those damn gowns off and give us some everyday clothes, okay? But beside that, because there's not just The Bachelor and The Bachelorette anymore. There's not. There's The Bachelorette and The Bachelorette, and there's The Bachelor and The Bachelor, and there's
in
all kinds of
Australia they have, you know, same sex bachelor everything. They have they had a bi bachelorette, like she had both men and women. Like Australia, honestly, I mean, I have a soapbox about Australian reality TV. I love it. And
do you
they
think
are
the
so
American Bachelor
progressive.
will do it? I don't know. I
I
really
just
don't
don't
know.
I think that it's gonna have to come very much organically with a new wave of literal generation.
Producers
and
I think it's going to be a
showrunners.
whole new,
Yeah.
and showrunners.
I don't
Because
think
it's
anyone who's working out is going to be spearheading any of that.
It's
They barely want to spearhead the demographics. Like,
they don't want to even share different races. But I mean, it's already really passe that they're focusing only on men and women relationships. It's really dated.
Yes.
I mean, really.
Although I will say,
yeah. No,
well,
go
I was
ahead.
going to say, although I do think it's quite progressive that it's a polyamorous show.
Well, it's always been
that.
Right.
That.
Yeah,
I'm just wait. Actually, I think I have said that, where I think that it may not go in the direction of like, you know, sexual orientation, but I think it may go into the question of like, maybe this lead proposes to 2 women and he just has 2
that
girlfriends.
could possibly be, right?
I feel like that's closer to the reality than like maybe being more
I
inclusive.
think that the word on the street is that they're thinking of having a gay bachelor. However, I think that it'll be very like it'll be someone who obviously will be white and maybe comes off very hetero and is very much like even bi, and it won't be like a bunch of men. It will be like a mixture of men and women, because they're still going to cater to that fan base that they've had for all these years.
The traditional roles.
Yeah. And I don't think that trans will come into the equation anytime soon. I think that it should. I think that this franchise really needs to incorporate everyone, LGBTQIA plus, different races, skin colors, ethnicities, cultures, all of these groups. But I don't see it happening anytime soon because they haven't shown that they want to. They haven't shown that they find
we haven't seen evidence of it. You know, other shows, I would be like,
surface level.
You know,
to appeal
but like
to
Bachelor is just so rooted in their like misogynistic and like heteronormative, you know.
To appeal to my daughter's generation, they would definitely have to go that route. She's not interested. She thinks it's ridiculous and just
it is.
She just is like, this is so ridiculous. I don't even want to look at this. And I get it. I completely get it. And my second question before I have to go is, who do you think is going to be the next Bachelorette?
Maria or
Maria?
I think so. I think that she is kind of like the person that needs to liven up things, you know. I don't know.
I don't think she's tall. I don't think she's tall enough.
Or Kelsey. I don't want anyone who's kind of like mid. I want somebody who's like, boom.
I don't think it would be Kelsey. I think Maria is exciting, but just basing it on the edit that we've seen of people this season, Maria and Daisy have gotten the most screen time, I feel like.
But you know what? Let's see what happens on Women Tell All, because if she comes out of it in a bad light, because the whole Leia thing, which we're very excited to find out. Leia told us, Leia told us that we will find out whether or not Maria shouted, "Shut the fuck up, Leah," or Leia. Oops. So, you know, like she could come out of Women Tell All and
she shouted that. I think it's going to be Rachel. She's going to be the next Bachelorette if she doesn't win. And I'm celebrating Rachel on all levels. I'm celebrating Rachel in every light. And it should be Rachel as the Bachelorette if she doesn't win, but she should definitely win.
That would be awesome.
Putting all my energy there and putting all of my words there and putting all of my soul there. So that's
manifest it.
Yes.
Number one.
So
Rachel
right now,
fan.
who do you think it'll be?
I think she said Maria.
Right now.
Did you say Maria?
You said Maria.
Maria or Daisy. I love Rachel. I would love for Rachel to be in there, but realistically, I'm looking at the show and I'm looking at their pattern, and I just don't think that they will do that, especially because Cherry is the last Bachelorette.
I'm gonna go with the other Kelsey.
Kelsey T.
Yeah,
that would be a great choice.
That would be a great choice.
I love Kelsey.
Or I mean, also we had Jen, who a lot of people are thinking she would be great. I mean, really, if they went Kelsey T or Jen,
who was Jen?
Tell
me who Jen
she was
the Vietnamese woman that he really liked, but she came
in that race car.
Yeah.
Young.
She's so cute. She had a one-on-one.
She's a PA, or she's studying to be a physician's assistant. She's very pretty. And I
Oh,
feel like
cool.
they need an Asian bachelorette, and she would have been great.
That really,
But
honestly, if we could choose anyone, I probably would choose her if I could pick the person.
I think
Really? I'm picking
Yeah.
Rachel.
they need, well, Rachel would cover that too, Filipina. So, but
Yeah, she is.
I just don't know if they'll do that. I would love that, but just like I said, the pattern of this franchise and how they operate, I just don't think that's gonna happen. It'll be great, but I just don't think that's gonna happen right now.
With
So
like
with either of them,
any
like any of
okay.
those women of color, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say the people of color.
Unfortunately, yeah, because they haven't
I
shown they
I
could.
don't know. Part of me is like maybe Kelsey T. Maybe.
I would love that, but they just like, I don't know, because
They're not very creative when they try and go diverse either. It's always African American black person, like I would like it would be great to see an Asian or Hispanic person
they
also
need
within the
Asian.
idea of like, oh, a person, it's not always black or white.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, not to say that I don't want someone who's black, but I'm
Well,
just saying
but
it
they
would be
need.
refreshing also,
Yeah, they do.
more refreshing than another white person.
Yeah,
There's
they
lots of
do need an.
there's lots of races,
Yeah,
guys. Yeah,
yeah,
and they just have
Yeah.
to they really have to do better.
yeah.
I'm leaving.
Okay,
I think you're
Okay.
amazing. I'm going out to the chaos that's my home.
okay.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much for
joining us,
having me,
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
guys. Have a wonderful night.
You
Thank
too.
you. You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
Bye. So that was our episode, our recap with Elizabeth Regen.
Yeah, really
And
fun.
we had a lot of hot takes, a lot of info in there.
Woo.
So, guys, that is our like mega
We
episode.
went real this
Yeah,
episode.
we
We
went
laid it all
so
out
real.
there.
I know. We went
We
so
hope
real.
you guys all take it, as it is. These are
Yeah.
our opinions, our thoughts. We are not trying to put down anybody or,
Yeah.
you know, um, you know, bash the franchise too much. In the
Yeah.
end, I do think it's trying a bit. So hopefully.
And we're just throwing our opinions out there, and
Yes.
everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And I just want to say, like I've said before, I think that in general, Joey has had a great group of women at the end.
Mhm.
And whoever he chooses is whoever he feels like is his person, and that's fine. And that's his gut. Like all of us,
Right.
anyone on these podcasts and all these different things that commentate and analyze this show, we all have our own opinions, and it's based on who we are and what we're about. And I just feel like, yeah, there's certain people I would love to make it, and I have nothing against the women who don't make it. I don't feel like I need to put others down to lift up the other
Right.
women like some people are doing in
Yeah.
socials right now. So
Yes.
whoever he ends up with is whoever he ends up with, and that's great for them.
Yep,
But
it's
the
his journey.
franchise, it's his
Yeah.
journey, but the franchise does need to do better, and I think they know that. And I don't think that's insulting. I think that's just
Yeah.
facts.
I think it's just it's like I'm happy now to have the platform where we can possibly actually reach the ears to these people.
Yeah.
It's just not a comment or whatever, but like I think really being honest with each other and having these hard conversations is so important.
Yes.
And we hope that you all listen and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Do
Mhm.
you have your own ideas, any other things that you want us to, talk about or anything?
Mhm.
I think we're entering in a really good space of just like being able to, shine the light on what could be better.
Yes. And that's part of what we started this podcast for, was that what they need to start getting right. So it's in our profile description, guys.
Follow us on
So
Instagram at Bachelor Buzz Podcast
and
and
YouTube.
at TikTok.
Yes, we're gonna get that TikTok going more, guys.
TikTok.
We're gonna work on it.
Yeah.
We are millennials. No, that's not why, but like
We're moms. No, that's not
we're
why.
moms. Okay, no, moms can do it. Millennials can do it.
We're working all the
We're-
time.
Yes,
we're in different coasts. I don't know.
yes.
But when we get together, Arena, we are
Yes.
doing some TikToks.
Yes. Yes.
Guys,
Get ready.
We'll
The
be
content.
TikToking it up.
Yes. The content will be flowing. Okay.
Yes. bombarded. In fact, just kidding. We'll space it out. But that'll be a busy weekend for us. So let's let's plan it really accordingly.
Yes.
But yeah, this is a very fun episode. We hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah.
And rate us.
Yes.
5 stars or nothing.
Or nothing.
That's how we do it.
Yes.
Apple Podcasts. Yeah.
Hey.
Yes, Apple Podcasts. You can check our link tree and our Instagram. And tell your friends. Things are getting serious. So our episodes are going to be even more buzzworthy.
Yes.
Buzzing.
Yes, that's our buzz. So we'll see you guys next time. We'll be recapping Fantasy Suites next week. And then after that, we will be having a special guest to go more into the astrology of it all and how everyone matches up with Joey.
Yeah.
So that'll
the
be
final 3 we'll examine.
Yeah, the final.
So we're excited for that.
Yeah, and
we'll have her do a prediction too, and then we'll just see if the stars tell all.
Yes, I know. But thanks
lots
so
of fun
much.
to look forward to.
Thanks so much, guys. And it's late for us, so we're gonna and I've got to edit, and and Julia's got to, because it's East Coast on her side, so we'll see you guys soon. Thank you for joining us.
Have a great week. We'll see you next week.
Bye.